Hello, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And let's talk about something other than the things that are constantly upsetting us, because as we know, a lot more is going to be upsetting us this year and onwards. But let's talk about some of let's talk about, for example, Korea. As you know, the Korean skincare, the Korean this, the Korean that, the Korean fashion, the Korean this, the Korean that, the Korean noodles, the Korean spices, everything is like so popular, the Korean drama and everything. Obviously, yes, on the other side, you also have the Pakistani dramas, the Pakistani spices, the Pakistani food, the Pakistani fashion, the Pakistani, clothings, the all that. That is also extremely popular. So let's compare just one thing today. Let's talk about the spices. Now, I know that Korea was, gaining more and more popularity on this side of the borders because, they claimed that they too ate a lot of spices, like their spicy noodles or their kimchi or kimchi is essentially pickles. We make a variety of pickles and they're all extremely different from each other. Some are in vinegar, some are with a lot of spices, some are mixed vegetables, some are lemon and chilies. We have cauliflowers and all. They usually tend to make kimchi with radish and cabbage. We use cabbage and radishes in other things other than traditional pickles, right? Although, no, actually, I think we do use radishes in pickles too. But anyway, point being, we use onions in pickles too. But anyway, point being, so people were beginning to gain more interest on this side, mainly to do with their spices. But as it came out to be, it's actually not all that when it comes to spices, because the Korean foods, especially their spicy foods, which are most popular, like the tteokbokki, which is essentially rice cakes, or you have the what was the chicken feet, which is supposed to be in a lot of spices. Please don't mind the background noises because we've just actually extended our solar system and they're just wrapping up things. I thought they had wrapped it up enough to be silent, but it seems there's still a few things for them to move about. Anyway, so as I was saying, the chicken feet, by the way, many people may not know that, but chicken feet are also made in more or less the same fashion here in many parts or some parts of, no, actually almost all parts of Pakistan. It is also essentially a very, very, very street food oriented niche sort of a dish that majority people actually, let's just say majority people do not eat, but you do have a little over 40 to 50, 40, more than 40% of our population, I think, do kind of dig it. So yeah, we've got as I said, they're made in very similar fashion. They have to be extremely spicy. And then you have, the spicy noodles, the spicy ramen. Now, the thing about the spicy ramen is it's not spicy. Same with tteokbokki and same with the Koreans have a fried, um, they have this skewered fish, right? Which is sort of fish cakes, which are on a skewer. And they have something that is very similar to our pakore. And again, if you get a Pakistani's verdict, a Pakistani who is much into spices and various blends of spices, and we really like to eat things very, very hot, very spicy, then again, they fall flat. Because I think what they try to is, it's like how you have the sweet and sour sort of a combination going on in the sweet and sour soup, for example. And in a lot of Thai dishes, you have, I think, sweet and sour combinations. I think in the Korean dishes, you have sweet and spicy combinations. So essentially, you have more sweet than sour, more sweet than spicy. So tteokbokki also at the end ends up having a more sweetish after flavor or aftertaste. In fact, even as you eat it, it ends up being more sweet than spicy. So I don't know about the chicken feet though. It seems very spicy, but again, keeping in mind the Korean tradition of what they call spicy, I think that too will fall flat against the chicken feet that are made and sold here in Pakistan. Similarly, Kimchi. Kimchi, I think, is naturally supposed to be more on the sour side because essentially it's a pickle. You know, it wouldn't be spicy. So, I mean, from what I've understood regarding, Korean spicy dishes, is that they're more sweet than spicy. So, because they tend to add those sauces, and those sauces tend to have more sweet flavor. So, I think that maybe that's what camouflages it. I don't know. But yeah, no, what they consider very hot and spicy is what we take as normal spicy. For example, if you take the regular biryani, uh, in Pakistan, the standard biryani that's made, the standard flavor of spiciness to us is not spicy at all. They make that standard spicy flavor because they know that a lot of people, even within Pakistan, cannot eat very spicy stuff. And that they know it's an internationally famous dish. And they know that people from all over the world will always want to have biryani. So it's a sort of a standard thing, keeping in mind the people from various parts of Pakistan that don't eat spicy, and keeping in mind the various people from all over the world who can't tolerate much spices. So that's standard level of spiciness that you find in biryani. To people mainly in the Punjab, not in the Punjab, sorry, mainly the people in Lahore and in Karachi, especially these two cities. To us, that doesn't hit. That's basically just spice level one. In fact, it's more like spice level half for somebody like me, even. We like it to be really, really, we want to have that bite. We want to have that spice. We want to feel it. So when we make biryanis at home, they are way, way, way spicier than your standard market biryani. So from that, you can understand how spicy we like it. Similarly, we have, when it comes to noodles and spaghettis and all, we always like to add an extra flavor, extra spice. Again, pizzas, the reason why I do not like, I mean, or should I say, I've lost a lot of interest in pizzas from restaurants, professionally made pizzas from restaurants, is again, the spice level to me is almost zero. And I remember in the 90s, we used to have really, really, really spicy pizzas. When we used to tell the restaurants, when we used to order them that, yeah, make it extra spicy, they would make it extra spicy. And then they would give us those chili flakes and seeds that would be even more hot. But now, I'm sorry, but I don't know what kind of chili flake seeds they're using, but it doesn't seem to just it doesn't seem to do it. So I haven't eaten a decently spicy pizza in almost in almost 2 decades. Yeah, because as I said, this is the 90s I'm talking about, where when you used to tell them you wanted spicy pizza, you got hot pizza. you know Not spicy, I would say hot. When you wanted hot, they gave you hot. you know Now it doesn't matter how much you keep on saying you want it extra hot, you want it extra hot, it's still the same. I really don't know what kind of chili flakes or seeds they're using, seriously. It's just not doing it. So yeah, but when we make it at home, then obviously we adjust the hotness accordingly. So similar, basically, the use of chilies and peppers, it's very, very common in almost all our dishes, right? And as I said, especially in Lahore and in Karachi, I think we tend to eat extremely spicy stuff compared to the rest of the Pakistan, where the rest of the Pakistani areas, you can say, or provinces or states or cities, where, they have amazing spicy flavors, but they're not hot, hot. They're not the kind that burns you down. You know what I mean? But they have amazing flavors. So, for example, the more you go up north, the more they rely more on the meat, on enhancing the meat's own flavor. So they don't believe in adding too much to the meat. They just add your basic salt, and then they basically cook the meat, that so to this extent that its own flavor, its own aroma, its own blends come oozing out, right? So that's how they like it, and that is also something that's worth tasting. Similarly, mainly in Punjab, although Lahore is in Punjab, but mainly in the rest of Punjab, apart from Lahore, they tend to eat less spicy, less hot dishes. It's almost bland for us Lahoris. you know, but that doesn't mean it's bland. No, no, no. For people from all over the world, or for people who are used to mild flavors, it's amazing, because it's not like they're cheating on they're using different spices, they're using different masalas, they're using different blends, they're using mild or aromatic blends, and then they use green chilies a lot too, but the flavor is so balanced, so that's why you have a variety of spices, is what I'm trying to say, or a variety of spicy blends in Pakistan, where not all of them are going to be hot in your face, hot kind of spices, but many of them are going to be, very cayenne pepper type, black pepper type, kind of green chili type, or, very, very aromatic, very balanced blend of, flavors and spices. So that is good. The fact that in Pakistan you can find every kind of flavor, every kind of spice, every kind of blend imaginable, and every kind of food imaginable is a wonder on its own. Because there is no one standard taste in Pakistan. It depends on which city you're in, and it depends on which province you're in, and it depends on what dish you're eating also, right? So some of our most spicy dishes are, for example, aloo ki tarkari, or, as I said, biryani, in which there are various spice levels. And then you have the pulao, which has a very mild, compared to biryani, it's not spicy, but at the same time it has that the red chili pepper that they use in it that kicks it up a notch, and at the same time you're having that wholesome flavor of the broth, of the rice cooked in the broth, so it's very simple but very, very deep in flavor, you know so I mean, this is how it really depends on what you're cooking. Some rice dishes that we have are even more simpler, and the only thing that it makes them extremely hot are the green chilies that we add to them, you know. So this is how, as I said, that's one of the best things about Pakistan, is that every city, every province, you know, every village has its own taste. So there's no one taste, and there's no one standard, so you can find anything and everything to suit your palate, right? That is something that you don't find in European countries, for example, or in Western countries, where you basically have one standard taste, or one standard blend, one standard palette that follows through, it's all in harmony. So yeah, you know what to expect, in other words, regarding taste and all. So similarly in Korea, although they do have different dishes just like us, and they have different blends just like us, but I've noticed that they also seem to follow one standard palette, especially when it comes to spicy foods, and that is, it is sweet and spicy, so more sweet than spicy. And so what they think is very, very spicy, to us is more sweet, you know as you know, even the Chinese restaurants in Pakistan don't make authentic Chinese, because they know it doesn't suit the Pakistani palate. So you will find authentic Chinese, maybe one or two, just very few, if you manage to find them in Lahore. But other than that, you will not find authentic Chinese cuisines in Pakistan. Authentic in the sense, they make them more spicy to suit our palate. They add more spices and herbs to suit our palate. These are the spices and herbs that are not actually used in authentic Chinese cuisines, So similarly, even if you have Thai cuisines and Japanese cuisines, you have authentic ones. Yes, you will find authentic ones in Lahore and all. But again, to suit your palate, if you tell them that you would need a little bit of spice level change, then they will suit your needs in most of the restaurants, right? And again, they will suit it according to Pakistani palate needs. Get it? So they won't. So, for example, in Japan, the authentic Japanese cuisines that you'll find in Japan, where even if they raise that spicy level, they're raising that spicy level according to the Japanese palate. But in Pakistan, obviously, they will have to raise it according to Pakistani palate, which means using those spices that can only give that kind of hot, that kind of heat, basically, that Pakistani palate demands, and that you can only find in Pakistani spices. So obviously they'll be obliged to use some of those. Yeah, so that was basically it. I mean, um, their fiery noodles are not really fiery. And when we make the instant fiery noodles at home, we kind of tend to make it more fiery, adding, if nothing else, then green chilies, so that at least if you get a green chili in your mouth, that can make it hot. Or obviously, we tend to add a little more of our own hot sauces. Now, there is only one kind of hotness, or should I say spicy. I don't want to call it spicy because it's not exactly what you call spicy, it's more heat level. And that is the Arabic harissa. That is the only thing I've found that can even beat our spicy palate, in the sense that it's something that is, because it's literally pure red chili paste. You understand? It's not a blend of spices. It's pure chili paste, pure red chili paste. So when you take, even a dip of that, if you just even dip a chip, for example, on that, just the slightest of a bit of it, the tiniest bit of it, just to, not, even less than a drop worth of it, and you put that in your mouth will be on fire. But again, it's not the fire, it's not that kind of fire that you have with the spicy heat. No, this is pure pepper, as in pure red chili paste. That's all you're tasting. You understand? It's not like you're tasting this hot, spicy flavor. No, you're tasting pure, unadulterated red chili. So yeah, and that is actually something that not everybody can that you really have to take the tiniest amounts of it in order to make it edible. And I don't think most can even tolerate it, even if they have that high tolerance for spices. So yeah, that was the only thing that I found that could actually beat. I mean, that beat our heat. In other words, our palate's heat. Yeah. So yeah, I found that very interesting. I've really found that very interesting, because in the beginning I was like, oh yeah, okay, so Koreans do have a sense of spice and all, but yeah, no, sorry to say, no, it's more sweet than spicy. A bit of disappointment, I guess, but at the same time, maybe good for those who have a sweet tooth, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, to us, you see, when people say spicy, for us in Pakistan, the first thing we're like, oh, yeah, hot flavors, hot blends, heat, spicy, extra hot. But yeah, apparently for different countries, spicy means different things, I guess. But anyway, it's, as I said, that's the beauty of every culture, every country, is that their own taste. You get to taste so many things that are so different from yours. You get to explore so many flavors, so many blends. I think it's good. It's good. Oh, this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.